Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to The Discriminating Gamer, the board game review show that is single-handedly making the case for American exceptionalism. My name is Cody. Today we're going to take a look at the peaceful, the serene, the spiritually edifying pursuit of hockey in Cryptozoic Entertainment's Power Play, a team-building card game.
Looking at the ladies in and they be looking at me. Ain't coming no fuss. Wherever they be ladies, brother, that's where I gotta be. Other men in my dust. Women that happen to be my territory.
In Power Play, a team-building card game from Cryptozoic Entertainment, 2 to 4 players are going to build up the best hockey team they can with actual hockey players and try to score the most goals. Essentially, what you're going to do is you're going to lay out a number of cards in the center ice. 5 cards to be exact. These are the cards that you could buy during the course of the game. Now you have a number of starting guards, 7 pass cards, which give you 1 power, and 3 tangle cards that essentially don't really do anything. They just kind of take up space in your hand. What you're going to do is you'll also have the opportunity to buy a slap shot, which is worth 2. There'll be penalties. And you'll also set up a little goal where you place the goalies. Now what you're going to do is just like the other games in the Cerberus engine, the DC Comics deck building game, the Lord of the Rings deck building game, you're going to be adding up your power to purchase the cards to put into your hand. You're going to be doing this and going around and buying cards, making your hand powerful and powerful. But you're also going to choose at the beginning of the game a team captain. Your team captain, now again, these are actual hockey players, and these team captains each have special and unique abilities with certain cards that you play. You're going to have different cards that come out. You're going to have skills, you're going to have attackers, you're going to have maneuvers, and you're going to have defenders. Now, you're essentially trying to buy these cards, but the goal of the game is to score a goal. Now, the number of goalies guarding the goal is dependent upon the number of players, and the game is structured so that they get progressively harder as the game goes on. Now, what you're going to do is at the beginning of your turn, if you want to try to take on the goalie, and they've got pretty high values, cost values, you have to go ahead and declare, I'm going for the goal. Very rarely are you going to have cards in your hand that add up directly to the goalie's number. Instead, you're going to have to play cards. Some cards are going to come up, draw a card, do this, do that, maybe, get extra power in these circumstances. And so you're never going to be quite sure if you can make that goal. So you declare you're going to go for a goal. You take the little hockey puck saying you're going to take a goal. Now, you can't buy anything from the center ice that turn. You're focused on the goal. Now, going around, each player, in order, can play 1 defender card from their hand. Now, the defender card essentially empowers the goalie. It gives him more strength. So, ordinarily, if his number was, say, 10, you could play a defender card that maybe adds 2 to it, so now it's 12. And you have to have 12 power in order to take that card. Now, if everybody's played their defender cards and you still beat the number, you take the goalie card, you put it under your team captain, and that's like a victory point. That goal is a victory point for the rest of the game. Now, at certain times, some cards may require you to take penalties when you play them. If 2 penalties come up in your hand, you essentially lose a turn. You have to discard everything, but you get rid of the penalties, but that can really hurt you, especially if you've got a good hand otherwise. So the game goes around and around like this. You're trying to get the goals. You're trying to prevent other people from getting goals. Now, as the game goes on, eventually you're going to run out of goalies. As soon as you take out the last goalie, the game is over. Whoever has captured the most goalies in the game wins. Power Play, a team-building card game. So what do I think of Power Play team-building card game? Well, essentially, this is the same basic system, the Cerberus engine, as we've seen in the DC Comics game, Lord of the Rings game. It's very, very similar. If you have played those other games, you can pick this one right up out of the box, and very quickly you'll know how to play this one. It is not a hard game to learn in its own right, and then you know this game if you've played those others. The game itself is fun. It's interesting. If you like this deck-building engine, which I do, you'll really get a kick out of it. Now, some people have the problem with, of course, the DC Comics game. They say it's not thematic the way it works, and that's true. It's a fair criticism, but it's still good. Now, I'll tell you right now, I know nothing about hockey. I didn't know any of the characters on there. I'm vaguely aware of something called Gretzky, but that's the extent of my knowledge of hockey. So I really didn't know anything about this, and frankly, I'm not a big sports guy to begin with. And yet, the idea of taking a sports team or sports players of any sport and then kind of meshing that with a deck building mechanic, I don't know, that just I thought was really, really cool. So I was really excited to review this game, and I gotta tell you, it's fun. I like it. If you like the Cerberus engine, you like these kinds of deck builders from Cryptozoic, this is another great addition to it. If it's not your cup of tea, you may want to pass. This is kind of, to me, the cake and ice cream of deck builders. There's not a lot of complexity. It's just a matter of, okay, we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this. It's very straightforward. Plays in 45 minutes, an hour tops. It's a lot of fun. I really liked it. The idea where you're declaring the goal, it felt a lot like the Rivals DC game where Batman and the Joker, they have the confrontations. It's a very similar mechanic there, and that's a lot of fun. I really like that. That brings something really new and fun and interesting to this. So if you like sports, if you like hockey, I think you'll get a major kick out of it. If you're like me and you don't care much for hockey, you're not a sports guy, you'll still like the game. It's still a great game. So the recommendation for the discriminating gamer for Power Play, a team-building card game, is buy it! Thank you once again for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, we ask you to please leave a comment here on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on our Facebook page, or on thediscriminatinggamer.com. We ask you to please like us on Facebook and subscribe to us on YouTube. We are The Discriminating Gamer. What is a Gretzky?
Please somebody help me on my feet again. And I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know where I've been. Please somebody help me on the solid ground. It's a long time, and I'll be dying. Once a year I wind up in the band.
I feel really manly because I'm playing a game about sports.